I'd like to welcome you and thank you for joining us this evening. It's wonderful to see so many distinguished guests, East County partners, and community members here tonight. My name is Rebecca Stavengord. I'm the Chief of Staff for Multnomah County District 4 under the leadership of Commissioner Stegmann. And it's an honor. Thank you. It's an honor to work with someone who's so passionate about our communities and so grounded in the needs expressed in those communities. And I also wanted to mention that our whole team is here tonight. So Nathan, Roberta, and Janet, could you raise your hands? I'd like to just really invite everyone to take a moment and get to know them. It's a really dynamic team that we've put together, and we're really excited to get to work for you. I finally want to say thank you to the Multnomah County Library and the staff at the Gresham Library for the use of this space and your help in putting together the coordination of the details. And then also a special thank you for the patrons of the library tonight who have allowed us to interrupt your time here at the branch. And I would like to also say that there are some refreshments for after this, and you'd like to join us in the community room, you're welcome. So without further delay, I'd like to introduce someone who's a fixture in the community and has graciously agreed to say a few words as we kick off this evening. So from the First Baptist Church in Gresham, let me introduce Senior Pastor Shane Kennison.
Good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me to be a part of this wonderful celebration for Lori and her team, and for the entire community of Gresham, and now for all of Multnomah County. It's a real joy to be with you and to celebrate not only your victory, but to celebrate all that is ahead of you in your work individually and also corporately as a commission. I met Lori Stegmann when I attended my first GHAT meeting, Gresham Homeless Action Team, for which I am very grateful to the city of Gresham for having spearheaded. I met her and listened to her in that very first meeting, and she was a fixture in those meetings from that point on. And I began to sense in listening to Lori that she had a real heart and a real spirit and a real passion for those in our community who are at most risk of thriving. And for that, I am indeed grateful and thankful. And so it's a joy and a privilege to be with you this evening and give a word of blessing as I have been asked to do. Lori, could I ask if you would at least come and join me here at this time? For this blessing is for you and for all of your friends and all of your community. Let us have the blessing now. To you who created all things and called them good. To you who created all of us and said that we were very good. To you and you alone, we ask now the blessing. The blessing of creativity, the blessing of diligence, the blessing of spirit, the blessing of boldness and courage and bravery, the blessing of humility and comfortability in one's own skin, the blessing of vision to see big pictures filled with multicolored views, the blessing of logistics and the understanding of how nuts and bolts are fitted together, the blessing of partnerships and relationships and friendships so that no one, even our commissioner, will be an island unto herself, but instead will gather and partner and shoulder the load with others. The blessing of perseverance, particularly in headwinds. The blessing of patience, particularly amid criticism. And the blessing of forgiveness, even in seasons of conflict. Keep and watch over, bless and protect, undergird and strengthen, empower and equip the one whom we celebrate and the one whom we give thanks for the one who is our commissioner, Lori Stegmann, we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. We'd also like to welcome the Honorable Mayor Shane Bemis from the City of Gresham to say a few words.
Thank you very much, and what an honor it is to be here today. I don't think it's very often that you have Shane followed by Shane. Such an odd name. You get called Sean all the time as well? All the time. Answer to both. But anyway, what a pleasure it is to be here tonight to honor Commissioner Stegmann. You got to say commissioner instead of counselor now. But so glad to see you succeed and go on into this position. I said last night at the council meeting, I met Lori just about 20 years ago when I joined the Chamber of Commerce and worked together as fellow business people. I saw her heart for this community long before she was ever an elected official, and I saw the willingness she had to put her heart to work in this community. And therefore, when it came time for a city council position, Lori came forward. She did an outstanding job for 6 years on the city council. There are few people, as I said last night, few people that really lead with their heart in public service and really mean it. And Councilor Stegmann, Commissioner Stegmann, is one of those people. And I felt very fortunate to be able to work with her and have that heart guide us in our decisions and in every issue that we dealt with. And there's some tough issues, as you know, and ones that require a lot of compassion. And Lori always brought that frame to our discussions as we talked about things. And I know she's going to take that frame, that lens, that passion with her to the County Commission, do an outstanding job for us in Gresham and all of District 4. You've heard me say probably before that it's a new day in Multnomah County. Chair Kafori has done an outstanding job for us in Gresham, continues to do an outstanding job for us and our citizens, and really recognizes where the need is and wants to put some tools to work to help solve some of that stuff. Today, this morning, we had the swearing-in ceremony for Ted Wheeler. You heard Mayor Wheeler say pretty emphatically that East Portland deserves a champion, and East Portland will be a focus. I don't think we've ever heard any mayor say that out of the city of Portland. So you take Councilor Stegmann, you take Chair Kafori, you take Mayor Wheeler, and now we've got some help, right? So we can start to get to some of these issues in mid-county that affect, as you know, homelessness, crime, all of those issues know no city boundaries. So it's all up to all of us to figure out how to solve those problems, yourselves included. So I am looking very much forward to Commissioner Stegmann being at Multnomah County, and wish her the very best. And on behalf of your colleagues on the City Council and the citizens of Gresham, congratulations, and we wish you the very best.
Thank you, Mayor. We appreciate you being here and your team as well. Now I have the pleasure of introducing State Representative from District 50, the Honorable Carla Peluso.
Well, good evening, everybody. It is surely my pleasure and honor to be here. I have known Lori for a very long time, and I have to smile because I've also known her chief of staff for a long time, and I found it quite entertaining when she tried to tell me what I was supposed to say tonight. So, could the representative say a few words about the role of partnerships across levels of politics and leadership, highlighting the opportunities coming our way to make change for East County? You bet I can. Yeah. That opportunity is sitting right there in front of me, and I appreciate it. And one thing I love about this community and this city and this town is that that's what we do. We do work together collaboratively to do what's best for East County, specifically Gresham. Now, I can say that. I know you have a little bit more of Gresham, but it is just really, really important. And Lori, you have been a stellar advocate for everything that's good and great about Gresham. I remember when you were looking to run for this position, and it was we have got to do some things about Rockwood. We have got to do some things about East County. We have got to do things for Gresham. We have got to do things for our schools. And it's like, hold on, we'll get there. But she has held strong and consistent in that passion for what has to happen and what has to happen with change. And as you have been, many of us have been here right alongside with Lori and have seen that collaboration occur and happen. Now I want to just now go back in time when I first met Lori. I think it was somehow we had done a fundraiser for the Seroptimists, and I was selected to cook the lasagna for that, and Rachel was there. We were doing our cooking and those sorts of things, and it was one of those, when a mother and daughter are doing things together, and the banter and the conversation that goes with that, and the encouragement of how things are supposed to happen, it is just really, really a fun experience. And I have held on to that for a long time, because as you enter the world of politics, which you've been a part of, you need to have those pleasant times in life. And that is just a very, very fond memory of that. And I always like to acknowledge Rachel. Lori brought Rachel down in my first legislative session to sit at the Education Committee at my request, and seeing the growth and the change in the families is tremendous. Lori is a Republican. I just have to say that. I have to get that out of here. I just have to let that be known. Oops. So I've outed Lori now today. But what I love about it is many of us encouraged her maybe to not follow that path as an easier path to election. And again, I applaud her and acknowledge her steadfast commitment to what her standard was. She wasn't going to take any advice from us. She knew what she needed to do, and she has done it well, as seen that you are now the commissioner. So that I'm very, very impressed by that. Also, this woman was the most tenacious campaigner I have ever seen in my entire life. She would go through the cans and bottles to get the money for the campaign. I mean, it was just amazing what this woman would do. But again, she was steadfast to her standards. She was steadfast to what she believed in, and that is a gift. And that is the gift that you bring to our city and our county, and it is greatly appreciated. So I also want to acknowledge, and I know you mentioned it last night, about bringing another level of diversity to our community as a first. And I think, again, that resonates. Yeah, I think that deserves applause. And I'll conclude with, as we talked about working together, you've always been a collaborator. And you've always been a huge champion for women and our girls to have success and opportunities. Your work with the American Association of University Women, with our Seroptimists, and your steadfast support to do what's right for our young people and our students has never wavered. So I am honored to be a colleague. I am honored to collaborate with you, and collectively we are going to get those things done. So congratulations. Now I do have a gift for you. No. Who said, oh? So, at the end of my first term at the legislature, this is what I gave to every female legislator. This is a suffragette from the 1920s, and what it says is, politics is not a place for women. However, underneath it says, she's breaking the bonds. So, Lori, it is my pleasure to give this, and it's way cool.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Thank you.
Oh yeah, Rachel, those are Willamette colors. Just to let you know.
I've known Carla for about 10 years, and thank you again for embarrassing me. I will never forget. Thank you. So many of you know that Commissioner Stegmann is a mom, And as a mom, I can tell you that it's something very special when you have the opportunity to share your work love with your family. So she didn't know about this, but we wanted to put a little special surprise in the evening. So I'd like to introduce and welcome her daughter Rachel and her other daughter Bryn to come up and say a few words.
So I've known my mom for a while also, probably longer than most of you, and she is one of the most hardworking women I know. She's owned her own business and taken care of our family and raised both of us for a long time, and she spent years of her life giving back to our city and our community as a counselor and as just a citizen, but now she gets to do it as a commissioner, and it's just so great to have a role model that I can look up to that always puts others before herself. And although sometimes I wasn't so fond of the whole let's go walk in 100-degree weather knocking on doors, and sometimes I didn't want to go to events, but you know, it worked out. So it's great that she won, and it's great that she can continue to serve, and we owe her so much as a county and as the whole community, and she gets to do so much more for us now, and that's great.
I don't have much to say because I was only asked to do this a few minutes ago, but I was just at a meeting for YAC, which is Youth Advisory Committee of Gresham, and there were some net officers there, and I told them who my mother was, and they say, oh, she's always there. She goes to every single one of our meetings, and I think that that's a pretty unanimous opinion of Lori, is that she is always there. For me, she's always been there for me when my own parents weren't, and that's not only a selfish thing to do, but something that I truly appreciate from the bottom of my heart. She's my second mom, and she always will be. Thank you.
So I didn't mean to give you the absolute worst situation to follow, but may I now introduce our Multnomah County Chair, Honorable Deborah Kafori.
They always say never speak after eloquent and lovely children, and so of course that's where I get on. I always also have to tell you that I feel your pain. I spent my life growing up going to meetings and walking and canvassing and all of those things, and this might happen to you, so watch out. And I really appreciate that all these eloquent speakers don't need notes to talk, but unfortunately this is my fourth swearing in 4 days, or 2 days, so I do need a few notes, so bear with me. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. As was said, I'm Deborah Kafori, and I'm your Multnomah County Chair, and I am very excited to welcome Lori Stegmann to the Multnomah County Board of Commissioners. I'm going to start with a true confession. I'm a Northeast Portland girl. Went to Grant High School. See my partner in crime back there, Joe. Good to see you, Grant High School. So one of the things that I have enjoyed most during my time of serving Multnomah County is getting to know the amazing leaders from around our county. Gresham Mayor Shane Bemis and I have worked together to give our kids more safe places to play and support that they need to succeed in school. Councilor Carolyn Eccles, who serves on A Home for Everyone, works very closely to make sure that veterans who have served our country have a safe and warm place to sleep at night. And I was a proud supporter of Casey Ryan, who just won the mayor's position in Troutdale. Hardworking, talented, and dedicated leaders, all of them. And I'm really thankful that the very intelligent voters of East County saw to it to bring Lori Stegmann to the Multnomah County Commission to help her keep fighting for East County and for all of us. I know and I hear very frequently that it feels that the people who live in East County are often overshadowed by that big 800-pound gorilla to our west. And I just want to promise you tonight, and you know that Lori is going to be there to fight for you, and so will I. In public safety, economic development, and transportation, we've worked very closely to deliver results to East County residents. And more recently, as the housing crisis has resulted in too many of our friends and neighbors losing their homes, we've brought together leaders from the federal, state, and local level, including the city of Gresham, to address this growing problem. This week, for example, as temperatures dropped all across our county and continue to drop, we've been working very closely with Gresham City Hall to identify places where people can get warm, and if they don't have a home, where they can sleep overnight. The sad fact is, while our economy has improved for some, there are still far too many people who are struggling to keep up. Working families are finding it harder and harder to pay their bills, especially when rent is growing faster than their paychecks. So as public servants, we need to find new solutions, because what we've been doing is clearly not working for everyone. And what is equally important is that we all hold our elected representatives responsible to change the way that things work so that taxpayers are getting their money's worth. And that's another reason why I'm looking forward to working with Lori. You heard from Mayor Bemis that she leads with her heart, but something that she also does is she uses this a lot. And Lori's experience as an elected official and as a small business owner means that she knows what it takes to dig down deep into the county's budget and make sure that our efforts are paying off, that people's lives are getting better, and that kids are thriving. The past couple of days have been a whirlwind, as I'm sure you probably are saying every night when you get home. We've sworn in 3 new members to the Multnomah County Commission. We are now 5 strong women leaders, each with her own set of talents and interests. But we know that as the federal government is stuck in political gridlock, it's up to us here locally, in each neighborhood and on each block, to work to make our community better. And that's what public service is all about. It is an honor and it is a humbling responsibility. But we know that Lori will not let us down. Congratulations.
So now the moment you've been waiting for, the cake. No, the oath. May I introduce the Honorable Judge Nan Waller, who's going to administer the oath.
And raise your right hands and repeat after me. I, Lori Stegmann,
I, Lori Stegmann,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Home Rule Charter,
the Home Rule Charter,
and the laws of the County of Multnomah,
and the laws of the County of Multnomah,
and will faithfully and honorably conduct myself
and will faithfully and honorably conduct myself
in the office of Multnomah County Commissioner, District 4,
in the office of Multnomah County Commissioner, District 4,
to which I've been elected
to which I've been elected
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my ability. Thank you. Wow, thank you all. I'm overwhelmed. So I want to thank Representative Peluso, Chair Kafori, Mayor Bemis, and Pastor Kinnison for your kind and thoughtful words and prayers, and for being here tonight to share East County's victory. And thank you to all of you for being here to celebrate our inauguration. I'm so excited to begin the work that lies ahead of us. Dr. Stephen Covey said, "Begin with the end in mind." Some of you might remember him when he wrote his groundbreaking book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, over 25 years ago. I envision my end when there is no longer a need for the life-saving services that so many of our most vulnerable citizens depend upon. The question is, how do I work myself out of a job? I believe we have to be intentional, and we must dig deeper to address the root causes of poverty. I've been incredibly blessed. And my brother's here too. Terry, raise your hand. That's my brother and his wife Angel. I was adopted into a loving family that provided food, shelter, and a quality public education. I put myself through college, working part-time, and survived on student loans. I worked hard to become a successful small business owner, but at every fork in the road, there was someone or something that allowed me to access a path forward. I think I turned out pretty good. And I believe that everyone deserves to have these basic needs met, and that starts with a level playing field for all. You've heard that our new commission consists of all women, and let's give it up for the ladies and the women in the house. Yeah. And I am so pleased to have Chair Kafori tonight, and I think Commissioner Smith was on her way, and I don't know if, there she is, there she is, she's here. Commissioner Smith, welcome, thank you so much. And Commissioner Vega Peterson, I don't know if she's with us tonight, and Commissioner Myron. I'm so excited to serve with these ladies. So not only are we an all-women board, but we are, for the first time, a majority-minority commission. And yes, that's huge. But what is especially meaningful to me is that I am the first Asian American ever to serve on the county commission. And that is a milestone long overdue. Thank you. As an immigrant, a minority woman, and someone who grew up in Rockwood, one of the poorest neighborhoods in Oregon, I recognize some of the institutional barriers and implicit biases that we all have. My goal over the next 4 years is to tear down silos, build bridges, figuratively and literally, perhaps, and have courageous conversations that will lead to meaningful solutions to address the root causes of poverty. I've been working hard the last 2 months to make sure that I hit the ground running, and I'm pleased to announce the incredibly talented team that we have assembled. First off, you've already met Rebecca Stavinger. Rebecca, raise your hand. She's my wonderful chief of staff. Rebecca has an incredible background not only at the county, but also here in East County. For nearly 2 decades, she has worked in local government, addressing issues that impact our most vulnerable communities. For the last 2 years, she has served as Multnomah County's lead for the East County Caring Community. This is a monthly forum that promotes cross-sector collaboration and includes representatives from our schools, our healthcare system, law enforcement, social services, and the faith-based community, as well as several governmental jurisdictions. Using this community-based model to identify and work on local issues like housing stability, youth employment, public safety, and human services has been incredibly valuable as we continue to fight for East County's fair share of resources. And I'm so pleased to announce that we will be continuing this important work through our office, District 4, and that Rebecca will continue that leadership role as well as my new Chief of Staff. So thank you, Rebecca. And joining us is our Senior Policy Advisor, Roberta Hunt. Roberta, where are you? Roberta, let everybody see you. I'm so glad you're here. Roberta will be focusing on health, housing, workforce equity, and violence prevention. Roberta is an assistant professor at Portland State University and has been very involved in our regional transportation issues. I'm so happy she's here because she's a new mama, and so I wasn't sure she'd be able to be here, but I'm really excited to have her tonight, and she'll be coming on in mid-January, so happy to have you, Roberta. Many of you may already know Nathan Clark. Nathan, where are you? Raise your hand, Nathan. So Nathan served as my campaign manager, and clearly he did a good job because I'm standing up here. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about Nathan. He earned his degree in planning and public policy from the University of Oregon and has joined us as our policy advisor. He will be monitoring legislative agenda items and focusing on issues of the built environment, such as transportation, land use, and revitalization efforts. So thank you, Nathan. Looking forward to having you. To round out our team, we have Janet Quiros. Janet, where are you? She's shorter, so we gotta wave again, Janet, so they can all see you. Janet comes to us with a passion for social justice and community involvement, which has led her to be a fierce advocate for underrepresented youth and communities of color. Janet is also a University of Oregon grad, and so I said this earlier, I have a feeling we're gonna be wearing a lot of yellow. And she has amazing experience from Metropolitan Family Services and Hacienda Community Development Corporation. So please welcome my entire team. So I couldn't have hired a better group of people to fight for East County. And hiring people that are smarter than me has always been a top priority. And I think I've done a really good job. All right, so when I was out campaigning over the last 18 months, I wish it was minutes, but it was 18 months, it literally was the longest job interview I have ever had in my life. I talked to hundreds of people and listened to their concerns. And what I learned was that people in East County are concerned about public safety, housing and homelessness, and jobs and education. And those are the issues that I ran my campaign on, and those are the priorities that our team will focus on. So while I was a Gresham City Councilor, I served as the liaison for the Public Safety Committee during my tenure. And so I'm excited to work through, to continue that work through the county's local Public Safety Coordinating Council. It's also called LIPSIC. Their mission is to coordinate local policy among the various criminal justice entities. They meet monthly to encourage the active participation of county-wide leadership that result in public safety operations and policies that are both coordinated and data-driven. One of the other most promising programs at the county is something called the Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion Program, called LEAD. This is a pilot program. I believe that we have to start treating people appropriately, and sending them to jail for low-level drug offenses or mental health issues is not the answer. Putting someone in jail for a short or a long period of time has proven to be an ineffective deterrent to recidivism. We have to quit warehousing people and start rehabilitating them so that when they re-enter society, that they have the means to be self-sufficient and independent of social services. This program will help get folks connected to the services that they will need that will keep them out of jail and prison. For housing and homelessness, we've all seen the results of rising housing costs and the significant impact it has had in East Multnomah County. Because so many people have been pushed east due to rising rents, we have a concentration of folks living in poverty. And we don't have the needed resources and infrastructure to provide a pathway out of poverty. So that will be my highest priority, to connect people with appropriate education and training so that they can access family wage jobs. By doing this, it will improve the economy and decrease the need for social services. On the education front, with the recent passage of Gresham Barlow's bond, I think we need a round of applause. And Reynolds Bond in 2015, we will have some amazing opportunities to partner with our schools to fight for more school-based health clinics in East County. While the county doesn't directly oversee schools, we know that if kids can show up having their basic needs met, their chances for success are greatly increased. I want to increase resources and support for our son's schools and school-based health clinics. This program puts schools at the center of our communities, allowing easily accessible healthcare and social services. The county has two major capital projects coming online, the new central courthouse and the new health department headquarters, as well as the maintenance of several bridges, including efforts to seismically enhance the Burnside Bridge. These capital projects are opportunities to support local jobs and local companies. I want to look for more creative ways to work with organizations like Oregon Tradeswomen, our colleges, our local unions to provide more training and opportunities to connect underserved communities to family wage jobs. But what I'm really excited about in East County is the 2017 groundbreaking of the Rockwood Rising redevelopment that will be yet another source of economic development and jobs. I am so excited to join Chair Kafori and Commissioner Smith, as well as Commissioners Vega, Peterson, and Myron. This truly is a dream team. From being an all-woman board, to being the first majority-minority commission, to the depth of experience that we each possess in a wide range of fields will serve the county well. Thank you. On a personal note, I want to thank and recognize my family. John Sage, John, raise your hand. John has not only brought home the bacon, but he has cooked it up as well. While I have campaigned for the last 18 months, he has done all the shopping, all the cooking, all the cleaning, and he's ran our insurance agency. He's been an incredible partner, so thank you. My daughter Rachel and Bryn, who you met, these two did knock on hundreds of doors with me, and they actually made campaigning fun, if that's possible. Because of my family's love and support, we are here tonight celebrating our victory. None of this would have been possible without them. I love you. And I wanted to thank, sorry, I'm going to cry, my mom and dad, Walter and Edna Stegmann. My dad passed away many years ago, but I feel his presence today. And my mom, who's now 85, and she lives in Sacramento, she couldn't be with us. But I want you to know that in 1960, a logger and a stay-at-home mom decided to adopt a baby girl. And they already had 4 biological children of their own, so I'm not really sure what they were thinking. But I will be forever indebted and grateful for their empathy, their generosity, and most of all, their love. And finally, I want to thank you, my constituents and my supporters, for believing in me. I could not have done this without you. I promise to work hard and will do everything I can to make sure that your voice is not only represented, but is listened to and heard. Thank you so much for this incredible opportunity.